Good evening, yes. This is Mr. Kiran Kumar Vilmula, Assistant Professor of Physics, Sri Rajarajeshwara Degree College, Karimnagar. In the previous class, we discussed about optical or spectral pyrometer and the uses of spectral pyrometers. So, today's class we are discussing about the radiation measurement using pyrometer. Before that, we must know what is radiation pyrometry and what is radiation pyrometer. So initially we are discussing about the radiation pyrometry. Radiation pyrometry is the branch of science which deals with the measurement of high temperatures with the help of radiation emitted by the hot bodies. Radiation pyrometer is the instrument used for the purpose of radiation pyrometry is known as radiation pyrometer. Pyrometry is the branch of science. Pyrometer is the device which can be measured high temperature of the black body. So these radiation pyrometers are classified into two types. One is total radiation pyrometer and the second one is optical or spectral pyrometer. In the previous class, we discussed about optical or spectral pyrometers with a schematic diagram, and we discussed the advantages of that optical or spectral pyrometer. Now, in this video, I am explaining about the Ferri's total radiation pyrometer. If you take the total radiation pyrometer, these pyrometers measure the energy of the total radiation with the applications of Stephen's law. As already discussed, the measurement of temperature of the radiation in the case of optical spectral pyrometer can be deduced by either Planck or Wien's law. So, come to Ferri's total radiation pyrometer. So, this is the schematic diagram of Ferri's pyrometer because this pyrometer is invented by the Ferris. In this pyrometer, he used thermocouple. And with the help of thermocouple, he used to measure the temperature of a given hot body. So, in this case, if you observe the construction part, that is Ferri's pyrometer consists of convex shaped glass. That glass consists of a small hole. One eyepiece is movable inside that hole. That eyepiece is moving to and fro inside the concave mirror or concave surface. That surface is coated with nickel and copper because the thermal radiation is incident on it. So therefore, with the help of rock and pinion arrangements, the eyepiece can be moved through the hole. So then there is a small hole of 1.5 mm diameter. The hole is created with the two mirrors which are arranged with 45 degree, don't forget that thing, 45 degree angle. So at the second end we are observing the image with the help of eyepiece. The distance between the eyepiece and this concave mirror or field lengths can be adjusted with the help of rock and pinion adjustments. So inside it, one thermocouple is adjusted. The thermocouple consists of two junctions. First junction is hot junction, and the second one is cold junction. So this is the main construction part, and we are observing two types of shadows of this thermal radiation. One is in focus. That means if the image is exactly in a circular form, then that image is said to be in focus. If both sides, both halves or discs are not coinciding exactly with each other, then that is said to be out of focus. And initially we are observing the radiation image as out of focus. By moving the eye lens, we have to make it that focus as in focus. That is the way of process to perform the experiment. So here the thermocouple circuit connected to millivoltmeter top of the Ferris pyrometer. So this is the construction part of Ferris pyrometer. Now come to the working principle. Initially the thermal radiation is incidenting on the surface of the copper nickel concave surface. So that can be incidenting on the surface of a strip, metallic strip, with the help of these two glasses which are arranged 45 degrees with each other with a 1.5 mm of hole. Through that hole, and that means that small hole acts as a diaphragm. Through that diaphragm, the total radiation is focusing on the metallic strip when it is incidentally on it. So we are observing the image from the eyepiece. Then the image is in out of focus initially. We have to make it into in focus by moving this eyepiece with the help of rock and pinion arrangement above the telescope. So when the image is exactly in focus, then the thermal radiation is incidenting on the edge of the thermocouple, which consists of hot and cold junction. Then there is a temperature difference between hot junction and cold junction. Due to the variation in temperature, the thermo EMF is generated in thermocouple. Due to the thermo EMF, the needle deflects in the millivolts. The temperature is always directed, the deflection of this millivoltmeter is directly proportional to the fourth power of the temperature according to Stephen's formula. So with calculating the deflection, we are measuring the temperature of the thermal radiation of the black body. So then Stephen's formula is applied and the calculation takes place. From that we are calculating the temperature of a given hot body. Here I am giving the calculation part. Let us consider capital T and T naught with the absolute temperature of the hot body and the pyrometer respectively. According to Stephen-Boltzmann's law, the millivoltmeter deflection. Why the millivoltmeter deflects? Because the thermal radiation is incidenting on the surface of the thermocouple. Thermocouple consists of two junctions. One is hot junction and other is cold junction. There is a temperature variation between the hot junction and cold junction because cold junction is maintained at low temperature and hot junction is maintained always at high temperature. Due to the difference between these temperatures, the thermo EMF is developed in the electrical circuit. The thermo EMF develops the voltage and current in the circuit. So therefore the needle deflects from zero or it oscillates from its main position. So this deflection is directly proportional to the fourth power of the temperature. By taking the That means already discussed in the previous slides. The temperature and the deflection relation is proportional to each other. According to mathematical expression, the value of theta is directly proportional to the fourth power. Therefore, by taking deflection on x-axis and the temperature value on y-axis, if you plot a graph between these two physical quantities, the shape of the graph is a straight line which passes through from the origin. Approximately, it is to origin. Approximately means the logarithmic relation between the temperature and theta is always directly proportional to each other. By this we can explain the relation between the temperature and the deflection from this graphical representation. Thank you.